Welcome to the English Matters grammar lesson for each one of us. I welcome each one of you in today's lesson. My name is Ranjit. Today's lesson is basically about a certain word which we get to hear in everyday's conversation, either from a movie, or maybe you have come across in certain textbooks. Now we need to confirm, should we be using this particular word in our speech in the forms of writing or when you're speaking to somebody else. So let us understand. Okay, the word I am going to introduce is ain't. Didn't you hear this word before? Yes, you did. Now we need to understand, should we use it or shouldn't we? Ain't is used in very informal setting of conversation, but it is always advisable to avoid the use of ain't in any kind of formal setting. Either you're writing doing a formal piece of writing, or you are addressing to a group in a very formal setup. Okay, so ain't is it's a short form of these words: is not, am not, are not, have not, has not. So do you see the various forms of ain't? Isn't, aren't, okay, amn't or am not, haven't, hasn't. We'll understand the use of all these in different examples. So let us understand with few examples out here. She ain't like the other girls at the school. When I use this word, it's a very informal piece of writing. She ain't like the other girls at the school. So basically here ain't is talking about, it will go ahead with in the complement of subjects she. So she will contain is. She is not like the other girls at the school. So here ain't is the short form of the verb is not. Okay, now here she isn't like the other girls at the school. So do you see, ain't, the form of ain't is basically is not in this case. Going further, when I use the subject I ain't responsible for the loss. So I will have a verb form am. I am not responsible for the loss. And we generally do not use amn't in our conversation, either in a piece of writing or your speech. So we do avoid using amn't. Okay, so basically we stick to I am not responsible for the loss or I ain't responsible for the loss. So I'd recommend you to use I am not responsible for the loss. Okay, let's go further and look at these examples. They ain't supposed to bring in mobile phones in the examination hall. Now if you look at this ain't, so this is the short form of, based on the subject use they, it will be they are not supposed to bring in mobile phones in the examination hall. Or you can also contract it to they aren't supposed, A-R-N-E apostrophe T, this is pronounced as aren't. We don't say aren't, aren't. They aren't supposed to bring in mobile phones in the examination hall. So do you see the variation of ain't happening in three different cases? Ain't was the short form of is not in the first case. In the second case, we saw that ain't is the contracted form of am not, and here it is the contracted form of aren't. So this is how it varies. Now let's go further. I have one more set of examples. I ain't been to London in the last 3 years. Now if you look at the use of the subject I, it has the quality of taking I have not been to London in the last 3 years. If you contract it, have not, it will become I haven't been to London in the last 3 years. So in this case, ain't is the form of have not or haven't. So in all four different kinds of example, we saw the four different use of four different forms of the verb ain't. Now why should we avoid using it? Because when you keep on using ain't in your speech or writing, it shows that you do not have the depth of vocabulary. You do not know where to use am or are or is, have or has. So basically it makes your speech or writing very non-standard. So I would always recommend you to avoid ain't in any piece of conversation or writing and start using the standard form of ain't, not the non-standard form as it is included in this particular word, ain't. Now let us, I have got few examples. These are all non-standard piece of writing, so it's very informal. Now you can just go through these examples and you now, so basically we have learned that ain't is a non-standard form of English conversation and we should avoid using in our speech. So I hope this lesson would help you to make your speech or conversation very formal and very standard. In case if you have any question, you can always ask me in the comment section below. I'll come back to you with a new lesson very soon. Till then, take care. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.